What is up everyone, welcome back to Mainly Movies, the channel where we talk about, well, mainly movies. So finally I'm going to be listing off my top 10 favourite movies of 2024. Now I haven't done a favourite movies list in a while and I saw a lot of movies last year, enough that I'm probably going to make a top 10 worst movies of 2024 as well, so stay tuned for that. But I saw so many as well, I now have honourable mentions, so I'm going to list a few of them off. So my honourable mentions are Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Hitman, Wicked, Late Night with the Devil, The Substance, Smile 2, and A Quiet Place Day 1. So those are movies that I really liked and I rated them quite high but just didn't make the top 10 for me. Which, kicking it off at number 10 was Furiosa: A Mad Max Saga. I really did like Furiosa. I thought it was a great action movie. It didn't have the intensity that Mad Max Fury Road did, but I wasn't kind of expecting it to. To me, it feels like a mix between Fury Road and the very first Mad Max movie, especially in the last act. But it was good to see that world again and a little bit more world building, even if it kind of retcons a few things in the other ones, but the Mad Max movies aren't completely connected that it matters too much. Coming in at number 9 was actually one that I saw later on in the year, and that was September 5th. Or September 5. This was just a great 90-minute, very intense thriller. The movie just kind of snaps open without any kind of characters. We don't get any backstory to the characters. It's completely about this event and this event only. And that's what this movie needed to do. It didn't need to give us any more than that. But I haven't been on the edge of my seat in a movie like this in quite some time. At number 8 is a horror movie that put me on the edge of my seat, not quite like September 5th, but in a very disturbed way, and that movie is none other than Longlegs. I remember the craze for this film. I saw it opening night and there wasn't an empty seat, but I honestly thought that it was shot beautifully, very disturbing. The third act of the movie didn't take me where I kind of wished the movie went, but overall it is a very dark movie and Nicolas Cage gives a great performance, a very creepy and somewhat kind of funny performance. Coming in at number 7 is Conclave. Now I didn't expect to like this movie as much as I did. I'm never really a big fan of movies like this, but it really had a nice tone, a really nice look. The performances are fantastic. I've watched it a couple of times since it released on Blu-ray, and it's a phenomenally written film. The kind of directions this movie takes is very unexpected, but in a fantastic way. It never once feels predictable, and Ralph Fiennes gives probably one of his best performances. Coming in at number 6 is actually the film that won Best Picture in the Oscars, and that is Anora. I'm a huge fan of Sean Baker. I have been ever since I watched Florida Project when it came out. I've liked all of his stuff, and Anora is definitely one of his best films. Now, I don't have really many issues with this film, but my only issue with it is that the first act feels a little bit too montagey. Too much is kind of happening with almost little information given to us. But overall, a superb film. It's shot really nice. It almost has this kind of like Safdie Brothers just intensity to it, just so chaotic. The performances are really good, and it has probably last year's best final shot. At number 5, this was a movie that hit me emotionally and was also hilarious, and that was A Real Pain. Kieran Culkin is superb in this, as he is in most things. He's really funny, and the contrast between him and Jesse Eisenberg's character is great. They really had chemistry, but I wasn't expecting to feel the way I did by this movie, and it has a really great message and just a really great feeling to it. And was another film that I wasn't expecting to rate this high on the list. At number 4, we have A Complete Unknown. Now, I am a big fan of Bob Dylan's music, and I was before the movie. Not a massive fan, but I did like a lot of his music. So I was very skeptical as to how they were going to pull this off. But James Mangold did a phenomenal job. It's one of the best music biopics in my opinion. Just like the name, A Complete Unknown, we really don't know who Bob Dylan is even when the movie ends. It kind of keeps him an enigma, which I really love. It's just kind of about a very small part of his life which is good. It's not this entire life story that can just bore you like a lot of the other music biopics do. It's very fascinating. It's paced really well. It's quite well written, phenomenally shot, and very, very well performed by Timothée Chalamet as Bob Dylan. At number 3, this was one that kind of flew under a lot of people's radars, and if you haven't seen it, it's my number 3 pick, so obviously I highly recommend it, and that is Hard Truths. I love Mike Leigh's movies. They are always great to watch, and him reuniting with Marianne Jean-Baptiste was great, and I'm a huge fan of Secrets and Lies. I personally think that's his best film, so I had to go see Hard Truths, and it did not disappoint. It has his very dry sense of humor that works so well. It had me cracking up at moments, but it almost had me close to tears. It's a very emotional film, probably one of the best family dramas you can watch. It's a great double feature with Secrets and Lies. I highly recommend doing that double feature, but overall its message is great and also has another one of 2024's best endings. Now we're down to the last 2. Now my number 2 pick was my number 1 pick for most of the year until I saw another film towards the end of 2024 that took its place. So coming in at number 2 is Dune Part 2. This was just a cinematic event. This was unbelievable. I saw it a few times in theaters. I did a review on Dune Part 1 and I loved that movie, but it still kind of feels unfinished. It feels like it's ending at the second act. Now that we've got the 2 films and we've got the entire story, well, until the third one comes out, but we've got the entire story. It actually has a conclusion. The action sequences are amazing, and just Denis Villeneuve's scope is incredible. His eye for detail, the set design, the cinematography, the sound design, the music, everything is top notch in Dune Part 2. The performances are great. This movie has an all-star cast. The first one I thought had an all-star cast, and then the second one, they add more characters. Austin Butler as the villain was superb, and the final duel at the end is incredible. And I occasionally put on the 4K of that movie just because I need my room to rumble when I watch a movie, and I love it. It's so good, and it's up there with one of the greatest franchise movies. And I'm very interested to see where Denis Villeneuve takes the next movie. So anyway, that brings us to my number 1 pick of 2024, and that movie is Nosferatu. This movie just has the aesthetic that I really love, the gothic horror aesthetic. I mean, I'm wearing my Bloodborne shirt, and this is the closest to a Bloodborne movie we're going to get. But not just that, I think its kind of unique approach to the horror genre is so extraordinary. What Robert Eggers managed to do with this movie is incredible. The haunting cinematography and just the beautiful lighting and the performances, everything is fantastic about this movie. Now, I will say that it is kind of neck and neck with Dune Part 2. I probably like them equally the same amount. Just Nosferatu, it just sparks something in me. I know a lot of people don't rate this movie as high as I did, but me personally, this is my favorite horror movie, or one of my favorite horror movies of all time, and is also Robert Eggers' best film. His movies just keep getting better and better in my opinion, so honestly I cannot wait to see what that guy has next. But anyway, that's my top 10 favorite movies of 2024. Please, in the comments, feel free to let me know what your favorite films of 2024 was. I know we're halfway through 2025, so I apologize for that. But I thought I had to make this video anyway. If you follow me on Letterboxd, you probably would have already seen this list. So this video is kind of pointless to those of you who have seen the list. But the link to my Letterboxd is down below, so you can just see my entire list. But yeah, like I said, I have enough room to make a worst films of 2024, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned, there is plenty more to come. I have a few videos in mind, I have a lot of things to edit, a lot of things to do. Also, there will be a link down below to my Mainly Gaming channel. Live streams all the time, a link to my Mainly Gaming Twitch account, where every Friday night we play a horror game, as well as playing all the other new games that are coming out, as well as some cool videos about all the things you need to know gaming. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.